Hello again. There is in Britain an old wives' tale or myth or whatever you might call it that the law requires parents to send their children to school when they reach the age of 5. This is quite untrue. Parents have a legal duty to ensure that from the age of 5 their children receive a full-time education, but there's nothing in the law which suggests that this should be at school. The Queen didn't attend school for a single day, and neither did my own daughter. This is all perfectly legal. When my daughter turned 5, I simply didn't send her to school. There's no obligation to tell anybody or do anything other than start educating your child. People have various reasons for educating their children at home rather than sending them to school. In America, it's something often done by Christians so that they're not exposed to some of the less desirable aspects of modern education, being taught, for example, that 2 men getting married is on a par with men and women marrying. In this country, the practice is more associated with left-wing liberals and hippies, parents who are worried that schools are too strict and push children too hard. Many of these people are supporters of what is known as autonomous education, which is when children decide for themselves what they wish to learn and when. This never struck me as a particularly sensible scheme. My own reasons were partly religious and partly educational. I didn't want my child to be taught that ethics and morality are all relative. I believe in certain categorical imperatives, things which are always absolutely right or wrong under all circumstances, and this philosophy is not popular in modern schools. I wanted her to learn about the nature of the deity and felt that her mother and father were the best people to teach her this. As far as education goes, I wanted her to read and write and learn certain things, which she did. There's an increasing interest in home education in Britain from people who are generally regarded as being politically right-wing. These are parents who do not want their children to be taught that white people are wicked, that all cultures are equally valuable, and that there are 109 different genders. In other words, they wish their children to grow up holding values that they themselves consider correct. Taking full responsibility for your child's education is not an easy task, for one has to educate oneself at the same time and learn about all kinds of things such as chemistry, history, physics and mathematics so that you can transmit the knowledge to your children. It is, in effect, a full-time job, which makes it very hard to find the time if you also have to work for a living. My wife and I managed it by both working part-time, but this meant that we were very poor for the first 18 years of our daughter's life. It can be done, but means buying clothes from Oxfam for going foreign holidays and not going ever to restaurants and so on. It's certainly the option if you do not want your child to be inculcated with a lot of foolishness about all sorts of subjects. It also means, of course, on the plus side, that your child can enjoy an education at least as good as that on offer at the best private school, because with a class size of just 1 or 2, there's no chance of the child being overlooked or held back by duller classmates. 1-to-1 tuition in a relaxed domestic setting beats being stuck in a class of 30 any day of the week. There can be problems with socialisation, but they're not insurmountable. For anybody unhappy with state schools, I would thoroughly recommend this course of action. I wrote an academic book on this subject about 10 years ago, although it's out of print now. I'll give a link to it in the description to this video.